The first sign of trouble was the shrieking. I was inside fixing a late dinner when I heard it. High-pitched, panicked, and unmistakably Karen's brat of a son. I sighed, grabbed a towel to wipe my hands, and stepped out onto the back porch. There he was, standing by my pool gate, face red, phone in hand. He was jabbing at the padlock like it had personally offended him. Two other kids stood behind him, arms folded, glaring at the gate like it had betrayed them. "What's going on here?" I called out, walking down the steps. The boy spun around. "You locked the pool. That's against HOA policy." I raised an eyebrow. "First of all, I'm not in your HOA. Second, this is my pool. My private pool. Which means I can lock it anytime I want." He stomped his foot. "But the pool's supposed to be open for residents. Mom says this whole property is common area." I almost laughed. His mom, Karen, the self-appointed queen of the subdivision, had been spreading that nonsense for months, telling everyone my land technically belonged to the HOA. Never mind the fact that the deeds said otherwise. "You're trespassing," I said flatly. "Step away from the gate." Instead, he dialed 911 on his phone. "Yeah, police? This guy's illegally blocking a community pool. We're trapped out here." I nearly doubled over laughing. "Trapped? You're standing in my yard. There's the road, right behind you." The two other kids started to shuffle nervously, clearly realizing they'd been dragged into a bad situation. But Karen's son puffed out his chest, determined to play sheriff. Within 15 minutes, 2 patrol cars rolled up the gravel road, lights flashing. Out came 2 deputies I knew well. They'd been to my ranch plenty of times. One even waved. "What's the call here?" the first deputy asked. Karen's son pointed dramatically at the pool gate. "He locked us out. This is HOA property. He can't do that." The deputies exchanged a look, then turned to me. "This is your land, right?" "Every acre," I said. "Got the deed inside if you need proof." They nodded. "Not necessary. We know who owns this place." Karen's son blinked. "Wait, what?" "But Mom says..." The second deputy cut him off. "Son, your mom's been warned before about making false claims. This pool isn't community property. This is private pool, which means you're trespassing." That shut him up real quick. The first deputy pointed to the gate. "Lock stays. End of story. You try breaking in again, we'll have to cite you. And if your mom wants to argue, she can come down to the station herself." By now, the 2 other kids were already edging away, muttering about how they didn't want to get in trouble. Karen's boy stood there, stunned, before finally blurting out, "I'm calling my mom." The deputy smirked. "Good. Tell her to bring her paperwork. We'll be waiting." Sure enough, 20 minutes later, Karen herself stormed down the road, hair frizzed, phone clutched in one hand like a weapon. She launched into a tirade the second she arrived, about how I was denying access, violating rights, and abusing authority. The deputies let her rant for a solid minute before one calmly pulled a folder from his cruiser. "Karen, we've already been over this. This property isn't HOA jurisdiction. It's private land. Every time you call us on something like this, you're filing a false report." Her face drained. But it's community space." "No," the deputy said firmly. "It's his space. And if you push this any further, you'll be the one facing charges." The look on her son's face was priceless, like his entire worldview had just shattered. His mother wasn't the queen of the neighborhood after all. Karen sputtered, then grabbed her son by the arm. "Come on, we're leaving." They stormed off into the night, muttering threats about lawyers and lawsuits. But the deputies just shook their heads and climbed back into their cruisers. "Don't worry," one said as he rolled down his window. "We'll file the report. This'll go on record. Next time she pulls this stunt, she won't just get a warning." I nodded, leaning back against the porch railing as their taillights faded down the road. Later, I checked the lock on the pool gate, giving it a good tug. Still solid. Still mine. And best of all, Karen and her son had just been humiliated in front of half the neighborhood. That night, I slept better than I had in months. Because sometimes you don't need to fight. Sometimes you just need a good lock and a sheriff who knows exactly who owns what.